Well, first of all, who could not be happy about the ceasefire in Gaza? But as one Palestinian said, I hope that this will lead to real peace and that nobody will be killed here anymore. So that is the real question. How can we leverage this pause in the fury of the conflict into something more permanent? And I was reminded recently that the words for peace in ancient Greek and ancient Latin both meant pause. It meant an agreement, a treaty. And it was only in Hebrew, incidentally, and a few other languages that we get a concept of peace as an innate yearning of the human heart and something that is very positive in itself and can be very robust. How could this pause be parlayed into a real peace that would ease the agony of this region? Because, as a matter of fact, the pain that was going on there was felt throughout the world. And so if we could turn that situation to peace, real peace, again, it would resonate throughout the world. It could really change things. It's interesting to note that one of the things that led up to the pressure that gave us the ceasefire was the global Sumud flotilla. And I like that thing for many reasons. One of them being that it represents a new kind of organization that we're going to need going forward. In other words, it was neither hierarchical, it was not something mandated by the UN, nor was it just a crowd of people who got together and had a happening and decided to jump on some boats. In other words, there was a regular organization, and they have been doing this, the flotillas, since 2010. And they're gathering expertise and information and how to do it, strengths and weaknesses as they go along. So similarly, we have some informal organizations that are not just random groups of people, but not either mandated by a formal international organization. I think that it was in a sweet spot, which is what we really need to look at going forward. And I guess what I'm leading up to is a mention of not an organization, a network of organizations that goes under the heading these days of unarmed civilian peacekeeping. And there are, about 20 organizations doing this. And the fact is, out in the world now, there are some 200 people who have I was going to say volunteer, but they get paid on a minimum level for this work. They take training. These are all very, very good developments. And so these UCP groups, Unarmed Civilian Peacekeeping, at least 2 of them, to my knowledge, have teams on the ground in the West Bank. And I think they should play a role in this leveraging of the ceasefire into a more permanent peace solution, and which, because of this iconic nature of this conflict, as I said, could be something that would really affect the war culture of the world and give us, I think, our best hope going forward towards the development of what an old friend of ours and famous peace researcher, Kenneth Boulding, called stable peace.